Hey, a few people have asked me how keto and fasting have affected my arthritis. So I thought I would kind of give a brief history of my arthritis, how long I've had it, blah, 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 and then how keto and fasting have changed that for me. So I started with arthritis when I was 15. It started with a trigger finger with this middle finger here. It kind of got stuck in this position. And it was just a tendon had tightened up and locked up, and from there it just got progressively worse. I got into both hands, both feet, and it took a year to get diagnosed. First I was told I had growing pains. I was just a growing kid. Growing pains clearly was not growing pains. But I was finally diagnosed. I have psoriatic arthritis. So psoriatic meaning it is related to psoriasis. I started with psoriasis on my scalp when I was 12, and I don't have it anymore, thank goodness, but I had it all until I was like in my mid-20s. But that arthritis, if you have psoriasis, you have a chance of also having psoriatic arthritis, and I won and I got both. So I battled it all through from there on, and it kind of can go into remission sometimes. So I'll have years where I don't have anything, and then I'll have years of terrible flare-ups. And when I had VSG, I was not in a flare-up. I had a flare-up in 2007 when I had my daughter, and from there I got on a medication called azulfidine, and I took it, I think, multiple tablets twice a day, and that pretty much controlled it. And then so that was in 2007, 2008-ish. I had my VSG in 2011, and it was well under control. It was not flared up at that time. I was able to start exercising and such. And then when I had, after I had my first tummy tuck, in between my first tummy tuck and the revision of the tummy tuck, so between 2013 and 2014, I started with a flare-up. It was pretty bad. It got progressively worse. 2014, when I had the revision, I remember being thankful for the pain pills that I had for tummy tuck because they helped with the arthritis pain. So that's about how bad it was. And I had to stop all the arthritis medicine I was on at that time. While I was going through that flare-up, they were trying me on different medications. Nothing was working, and I was really just working to eliminate medications where I could get to taking a biologic, like an injectable. And finally, I was approved to take Enbrel. So it's a weekly injectable that I inject into my thigh, and that was a game changer. Within a couple of weeks, I felt tremendously better, because the arthritis at that point had been like all throughout my body. I would wake up and didn't want to stand up. My feet, my knees, my shoulders, every joint was achy. And up until then, I had been also treated with cortisone injections in my fingers. But you can see like my fingers are crooked. That bone has slipped out of place, all from the arthritis. So on the Enbrel, feeling great. So I was on the Enbrel, I was on the zolfidine, and then I also have to take methotrexate. The methotrexate is really goes hand in hand with the Enbrel. It's supposed to help my body not create antibodies against the Enbrel, because you can't get to a point where after taking injections of Enbrel for 10 to 15 years, it just stops working because your body is no longer receptive to it. And I should have said too, arthritis is an autoimmune disease. It's your body basically attacking the joints because it kind of sees it as a foreign body, even though it isn't. And so the injectable just kind of slows down it suppresses your immune system, which means I can be a bit more susceptible to infection, which was very scary going through plastic surgery, and I was very fearful of infection, and then to take a drug that can create a good environment for infection was scary for me. But luckily, knock on wood, I never had any problems with any of my plastic surgeries. So I started keto in August of 2016, and I was looking back. I started fasting about a year ago, so in the spring of 2017. because fasting kind of goes hand in hand with keto because of the lack of hunger and the lack of cravings, and so it felt pretty natural to just kind of skip meals and go into intermittent fasting. And I actually looked back in my old videos. I think it was in June that I did my first 48-hour water fast. I didn't remember it being that long ago, but that's how long it was. And then I didn't do it very often in between, and then I kind of started up again in the fall trying one, and I was on the struggle bus with it because low blood sugar things would flare up. And now I'm pretty hardcore with my fasting, testing out multiple things. And you can watch other videos and learn about that. But here's what I've noticed and what has happened. I changed doctors. My arthritis doctor that I had for like 20 years retired, and I had to change in the fall. And when I changed, I was very receptive to any changes that the new doctor would want to make. And the first thing she wanted to do, she wanted to take me off of my zolpidem that I've been on since 2007, 2008, and up my methotrexate. So that's what we did. So I take 6 tablets of methotrexate every Monday. I need to look and see what the milligrams are. I'm not sure off the top of my head. And I was injecting Enbrel every week, like either Monday or Tuesday of every week. Did that, stuck with that for 3 months, felt great, no changes, still felt fantastic. So when I went this last time, which was about 6 weeks, maybe 2 months ago, about 6 weeks ago, she said, if you're feeling great, everything's looking good, why don't you try just injecting every other week and see how you feel? And it was like, would I be receptive to that? I'm like, absolutely, because if I can get off this medicine is very expensive, and luckily my insurance pays for it. But if I can save my insurance company money, I'll be happy to do that too, and not give myself injections. So I said, sure, I'll try it out. So ever since that appointment, I have been only injecting every other week, and so far, so good. I mean, I'm feeling pretty good. I have my normal weaknesses in my joints that are damaged, but no flare-ups, no having to take a leave. Because before, even with the medication, I was taking 2 a leave morning and night, even with the sleeve. And I have not had any stomach issues. I know people think you can't take NSAIDs, but I did a lot for years. But yeah, I feel really good. And I go back to her at the end of May, and I'm going to see what she says, if I'm going to stick to this regime or maybe try and move to every 3rd week and just see if I can slowly phase off of the Enbrel. That would really be that's my end goal, is to phase off the Enbrel. So I think fasting has sped up. I think keto has helped immensely, and I think fasting has sped up that process. I think it has really reduced the inflammation. When I did my last set of blood work, when I went to see her the last time, my inflammation markers were practically nothing. So no inflammation, and I expect it to stay that way. And I think I owe that to keto, and I definitely think I owe it to fasting. So, the fasting, it has great weight loss benefits. It has great fat loss benefits. But one of my main reasons is for therapeutic reasons, for the inflammation, for skin, for my scars, for scar healing. Extended fast is supposed to help with repairing damaged skin cells and shrinking loose skin. I don't know if that's the case. That's why I'm trying it out. I can't say it doesn't work if I don't try it. So I am trying it. And so far I'm very pleased with it. So I would definitely say, if you have arthritis, at least psoriatic arthritis, I can't speak for any other form of arthritis, I would definitely try keto and fasting just to see if it helps you. If it doesn't, you don't have to keep doing it. But if it does, it can be a lifestyle. And, I'm on a 1.5 years of doing keto. I find it very easy to follow. It's a way of life now. It's really not anything I think about that much. This is just the things that I eat. And the fasting I do think about, because I'm just really now getting into trying to figure out exactly what's going to work for me. Is it going to be alternate day fasting where I skip, I don't eat on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or is it going to be fasting where maybe 48 hours, like Monday and Tuesdays, I don't eat. I don't know. Maybe it'll be OMAD where it's like 1 meal a day, and I have like a 20-hour fast and a 4-hour eating window, or a 22-hour fast and a 2-hour eating window. I don't know. That's why I'm experimenting. I want to see what works best for me and what keeps my inflammation down to nothing. So if you have any questions, just put them in the comments below and I'll be happy to address them. Thanks, guys.